Can you see this? Can you
Yes,
see?
we can.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, we see a table. Yeah.
I have a brand new one still in the box. So let's go through this process. So to flash the Sonoff S31, we need to open the box. Yeah. We need first to gain access to the PCB board inside. Yep. The screws are hidden, and to get to them, we have to remove some plastic covers. First, pop this great cover off the end. You may be able to do it with your fingernails, but I found it much easier to use a small pry tool. It's like live coding online. I hate it. Any point of time, something could go wrong. Okay. With the gray cover removed, slide out these two white plastic pieces. And it reveals 3 screws. I found them to be incredibly tight, so be careful not to strip the screw heads. Okay, and just 3 screws after, we can pull the PCB board out of the casing. What we can find here? Actually, the relay, which had of the power. This is the power source for the daughter boards, which provided with a 3.3 volts, and the board with a microcontroller. Yep, there is a focus. Nice. You see in the corner the 6 heads. They call the general purpose input-output heads or pins, and this is where we have to temporarily solder a couple wires. So talking about the truss to thermocouples with bunch of transistors. You see, this board was designed in 2017 and it's still production. You can still buy it. So I find it pretty reliable. Okay. We need to actually solder to these pins. There is no holes. They're pretty small. I forgot to turn on my solder. Let's wait for a couple minutes when we'll talk about it. There VCC port, not port, but pin, where you have to provide the power, 3.3 volts. Don't try to put the 5 volt there. It'll probably damage your microcontroller. Couple of RX, TX receiving and transmission pins, and ground.
Pavel, sorry, could you please zoom out a little bit?
Oh, I see.
Pins.
Or maybe I'll just put it here.
Oh yeah, awesome, thanks.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, VCC port, we need this couple RX and TX ports, which is close to the VCC. VCC stands for voltage connect to cathode, and kind of this stuff. Yeah. Okay. I'll put in my. I'll touch it like this. I already have a jumper cables. Here. Yep. Okay. What I have here is just jumper cables and with the pins on the other end. I will use this FTDI serial to USB adapter. FTDI stands for Future Technology Device International. This is just the name of the company. And this company produces USB to serial converter, which allows for a simple way to connect TTL interface devices to USB. So because you cannot plug the flash drive, there is another way to do it. Okay. I like to clean these pins with the alcohol before I start soldering. Yeah. I hope this will not be boring. It should be pretty quick. Yep. One. Yep. One pins go to the first pin. They're really small, and having the camera not make it easy. Okay. Again, use the RX and Tease pins close to VCC. Is it too boring? No? I hope not.
No, you know, there are three things like water, fire, and when somebody's working, so you can watch it.
Oh, yeah.
And actually thrilling. We'll hope you won't hurt yourself.
I should not. I'm professional. Much easier for me if I wear the glasses. Yeah. Oh.
Just a heads up, our next talk will be dedicated to neurosurgical operation the same way online. Pavel will drive it as well.
Who will be the patient?
On the real brain, I don't know. Any volunteers?
You know, my brother had a surgery.
Smart plugs.
Smart plugs.
So it's like it's common issue between engineers when it's really hard to go to sleep because you're still thinking about those few lines of code that doesn't work. So
Yeah.
it might be an ideal way to shut off your mind with the help of IoT.
Anyway, we're almost done. The ground cable. Perfect.
Excuse me, Paul.
Yep.
While soldering, in case that you already soldering wires here, why you not using temperature sensor like DHT11 or 22? Because in any case, you will install Tasmota, and that firmware already have ability to work with that sensor. So you will have possibility to have coffee temperature, and we'll be able to like switch off device.
Yeah. And actually, I found when I started looking for the year this device was produced, I found the article from the 2010 when someone already proposed a way to use a PID controller with different temperature sensors and Arduino with a display to do it. I don't want to make things more complicated inside. I don't want to disassemble it without needing to do it. So this is the one simple way to just turn the power off after some time.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Maybe, yeah, because I have two of them. For the next tech talk, we could install the different sensors inside. Why not? Okay, I'm almost done. Now, again, there is a serial controller. I'm attaching the white cable to the VCC and black for the ground. And don't forget to actually swap the RX and TX pin. So RX pin on a adapter should be connected to the TX pin on a device. So TX, we have a brown, go to RX, and ran one to TX. Okay. Now it's time to flash the firmware. And you see the button in the middle of the board is a toggle button that was covered by this gray end cap. And it is connected to the GPIO 0. And also this button needs to be held down before I plug the USB adapter in and for several seconds after. This forces the device to start in serial bootloader mode, and it means that it actually could accept a new firmware. So I'm pressing the button, attaching the device, the adapter. Of course, you have to install the drivers on the macOS and Windows systems. But in my case, it was already done. Let me switch to another screen. Okay, so I remember the time when to install the different firmware, you have to download the binary and use different tools like ESP tool to flash it. Now, when some operation systems just use browser as the UI, you could do the same on the one page. So there is Tasmota GitHub IO install page. I want to install the release version, choosing my serial port here, and install release Tasmota. Erase the device. Next. And erasing. Okay. If you already see the erasing, it means that I didn't mess up with wiring. And this board provides a 3.3 volts to the Sonoff smart power outlet, and the flashing should be less than 1 minute. It's almost done. Yep. So Tasmota is open source software, and it basically replaces the existing one custom. Now, this smart power outlet will be act as an access point, Wi-Fi access point. Before I unsolder these wires, I want to check if we are good. I'll go to my router settings to check. Actually, no. I will go to another Wi-Fi network, which was started by this small device. I will not use my computer to do it because in this case, I will use...
Sorry for interruption. Can you turn off sharing of the application if it's not needed anymore?
I will share this screen because now I see this new Wi-Fi network was up, and there should be a page. There is opening the page where I will use the credentials for my home Wi-Fi network for the configuration. So I save this configuration into the memory of this device. It is rebooting, trying to connect to the network. And now I should see it in my home network. Let's go to the web interface. Yep. Perfect, everything's working. I will now desolder these wires, assemble the case, and we actually can use it. I will not do it on camera. I have another device with the same firmware. I will just plug it into the outlet and we could proceed with the configuration. It has IP31. To prove that it actually works, I have a Christmas lights here. When I toggle the button, the lights light up. Okay, actually, we will talk about the timers. We go to configuration, and basically what I want to do and what I did for my coffee machine on a kitchen, for every of the 16 timers, I enabled it to off the power at specific time at 10 a.m., 11, 12, 1, 2, etc. So even if I drink coffee in the middle of the day, which is definitely not a good idea, and I forgot to turn it off, it will be turned off by the end of the hour. Okay, let's go back to the slides. So one of these smart power outlets are connected to my home assistant, and Anton on the previous talk mentioned about the different options. I set up some automation. So ping me when charging power less than 2 watts. And because this power outlet could measure the current, it could provide you with live information about the power consumption. So when the charger ends its job, the power goes down below the 2 watts. And if it's less than 2 watts for more than 10 seconds, I send a notification to my phone. This is basically one of the examples how we can use it.